Good afternoon, everyone. This is Desrian Gamboa, the third reporter of Group 3 under the topic Business Ethics. So I will discuss to you the need for professional ethics wherein to understand the importance of a code of ethics to professionals, one must understand the nature of a profession. So professional ethics are principles that govern the behavior of a person or group in a business environment. Like values, professional ethics provide rules on how a person should act towards other people and institutions in such an environment. So there is no universally accepted definition of what constitutes a profession. Yet for generations, certain types of activities have been recognized as professions while others have not. Public accounting is relatively new as far as the ranking of the professions is concerned, but it has achieved widespread recognition in recent decades. All the recognized professions have several common characteristics. The most important of these characteristics are a responsibility to serve the public, a complex body of knowledge, standards of admission to the profession, and a need for public confidence. So, careless work or lack of integrity of a professional may lead the public to a negative view toward the entire profession. So all professionals must have public confidence to be successful. Consequently, the members of the different professions should act in unison by deriving their respective code of conduct. So, Code of Good Governance for the profession in the Philippines. This will be our basis in the need for professional ethics. This code is adopted by the Professional Regulation Commission or known as the PRC and the 42 Professional Regulatory Board to cover an environment of good governance in which all Filipino professionals shall perform their tasks. So, this is not just for professional accountants but for all the professions, while each profession may adapt and enforce its own code of good governance and code of ethics. It is generally recognized that there is a general commonality among the various codes. So, this code, which covers the principles underlying the codes of various professions, could be used by all professionals who face critical questions in their work. So in general, before we proceed to the specifics, professionals are required not only to have an ethical commitment, a personal resolve to act ethically, but also have both ethical awareness and ethical competency. Ethical awareness, it refers to the ability to discern between right and wrong, while ethical competency pertains to the ability to engage in sound moral reasoning and consider carefully the implications of alternative actions. Next is we proceed to the specific principles of professional conduct. So first is service to others. Professionals are committed to a life of service to others. They protect life, property, and public welfare. To serve others, they shall be prepared for heroic sacrifice and genuine selflessness in carrying out their professional duties, even at the expense of professional gain. So as an example, I'll use this self-interest threat wherein professional accountants or auditors should not favor consciously or subconsciously their self-interests over their interest in performing a quality audit. Second is integrity and objectivity. To maintain and broaden public confidence, professionals shall perform their responsibilities with the highest sense of integrity and imbued with nationalism and spiritual values. So, in the performance of any professional service, they shall at all times, the main objectivity is to be free of conflicts of interest and refrain from engaging in any activity that would prejudice their abilities to carry out their duties ethically. And they shall also avoid making any representation that would likely cause a reasonable person to misunderstand or to be deceived. Integrity, it requires accountants to be honest, candid, and forthright with a client's financial information. So accountants should restrict themselves from personal gain or advantage using confidential information. Honesty and integrity, it plays a vital role in accounting because they allow investors to trust the information they receive about companies in which they invest. Honesty in accounting is the primary characteristic of the profession that allows financial decision makers to make appropriate judgments. So next, we go on to professional competence. Professionals shall therefore undertake only those professional services that they can reasonably deliver with professional competence. And in providing professional services, a certain level of competence is necessary, like knowledge, technical skills, attitudes, and experience. It is the professionals' express obligation to keep up with new knowledge and techniques in their field. So professionals need to continually improve their skills and upgrade their level of competence and take part in a lifelong continuing education program. Next is solidarity and teamwork. Each profession shall nurture and support one organization for all its members. Though a deep spirit of solidarity, each member should put the broader interest of the profession above one's personal ambition and preference. Through teamwork within a cohesive professional organization, each member shall effectively observe ethical practices and pursue continuing professional development as well as deepen one's social and civic responsibility. So when members of the accounting team work together and are open to working with other departments, they are going to produce more accurate data. Not only will data be more accurate, but it will also be produced faster, which will allow for more timely decisions. Next, for the need for professional ethics is social and civic responsibility. Professionals shall always carry out their professional duties with due consideration of the broader interest of the public. So professionals shall therefore serve their clients or employers and the publics with professional concern and in a manner consistent with their responsibilities to society. As responsible Filipino citizens, they shall actively contribute to the attainment of the country's national objectives, and if we relate this to business, social responsibility is important as more and more investors and consumers are factoring in a company's commitment to socially responsible practices before making an investment or purchase. So, social and civic responsibility is important as it involves the interest of the public. Next, we proceed to global competitiveness. Why is it needed in professional ethics, for professional ethics? Every professional shall remain open to challenges of a more dynamic, interconnected world. A professional shall rise up to global standards and maintain levels of professional practices fully aligned with the global best practices. If there are financial crises, accounting and reporting standards and transparency for preventing fraud and mismanagement, ensuring good governance, and maintaining investor and consumer confidence is relevant. An, an economy is well served by businesses that are run honestly, where managers abide by strong ethical practices in their dealings with the government, other firms, and the public at large. So professionals, especially accountants, need to continually adapt and evolve their practices to meet the demands of a complex economic environment. So lastly, in the need for professional ethics is equality of all professions. In the eyes of the PRC, all professionals are equal and therefore everyone shall treat one another or shall treat other professionals with respect and fairness. All professionals shall treat their colleagues with respect and shall strive to be fair in their dealings with one another. No one or no group of professionals is superior or above others. All professionals also perform an equally important yet distinct service to society. And understanding that every profession is equally important will help one feel comfortable with the job he or she does. And it will also help to create harmonious and healthy relationships among all professions. So one must cultivate a sense of gratitude without allowing ego to stand in the way. So to conclude, the need for professional ethics. A professional code of ethics is designed to ensure employees are behaving in a manner that is socially acceptable and respectful of one another. It establishes the rules for behavior and sends a message to every employee that universal compliance is expected. The primary value of a professional code of conduct is not as a checklist for disciplining non-conforming members, although breaches of a code of conduct usually do carry a professional disciplinary consequence. Rather, its primary value is to act as a prompt sheet for the promotion of ethical decision-making by members of that profession. So, thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something on the need for professional ethics.